Let's talk about the great unspoken male panic attack that keeps countless men awake at night. The paralyzing fear that they'll repeat their own father's mistakes. Nothing truly prepares you for that seismic moment when you first hold your child and realize with terrifying clarity that you're now the grown-up in the room. This realization hits especially hard when your primary blueprint for fatherhood consists of either painful absence, emotional distance, or behaviors you've spent your adult life trying to unlearn. Modern fathers aren't just battling the obvious challenges of sleepless nights and diaper changes, they're fighting against generations of broken role models while social media and parenting experts bombard them with impossible standards and the constant threat that any misstep will traumatize their children forever. The dad dilemma: why modern fatherhood feels like walking a tightrope. Without a net, fatherhood in the 21st century has become a psychological minefield where men navigate contradictory expectations daily. On one side, they face the persistent deadbeat dad stereotype that permeates popular culture, the bumbling Homer Simpson archetype, or the emotionally absent father figure that dominates dramatic storytelling. On the other, they're bombarded with psychological analysis about how their own childhood wounds will inevitably shape their parenting in negative ways. The internet has become an endless stream of unsolicited diagnoses about daddy issues and generational trauma, offering criticism but little practical guidance. Men today face what I call the gentle parent paradox. They're told they must be emotionally available and vulnerable, but not too soft, lest they fail to provide proper discipline. They're expected to be authoritative leaders in the home, but any firm boundaries risk being labeled as authoritarian. They should be constantly present and engaged, but too much involvement gets criticized as smothering or micromanaging. The rulebook changes daily, and the goalposts keep moving. Compounding this is the financial terror that haunts most fathers. Studies show that 78% of men identify providing for their family as their number one stressor, yet modern discourse often shames them for being just a paycheck if they focus too much on career success. It's a classic damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, where fathers feel constant pressure to perfectly balance competing priorities with no margin for error. The cruel irony? While children don't come with instruction manuals, everyone from relatives to complete strangers on the internet behaves as if they've memorized some universal parenting guide. New fathers find themselves caught between their partner's mom groups, debating 47 conflicting theories on sleep training, their own father's outdated advice that begins with, "Back in my day, we just," code for emotionally stunted survival tactics, and their internal fear that they're doomed to pass on the very generational trauma that dominates modern parenting discussions. The invisible labor of fatherhood, what society never acknowledges behind every dismissive dad's babysitting today. Joke lies a man performing calculus-level emotional labor that goes completely unrecognized. Modern fathers engage in constant hypervigilance, scanning every interaction with their children for signs they might be repeating their own father's mistakes. This creates exhausting mental loops of self-doubt and overcorrection. Was I too harsh just now? Am I being too permissive? Is this how my dad made me feel? Fathers today face what I term the emotional OSHA violation. They're expected to model healthy vulnerability and emotional intelligence for their children, despite most having received exactly zero training in these skills themselves. Raised on the toxic men don't cry mentality, they now must learn emotional expression on the fly, while terrified that any misstep will damage their children. Perhaps heaviest of all is the legacy burden, the knowledge that your child will one day unpack your parenting choices in therapy or conversations with friends. Modern fathers live with a quiet hope that when this inevitable analysis comes, their children will at least be able to say, "He really tried." This isn't ordinary parenting stress. It's a form of grief. Grief for the father you needed but never had. Fear that you'll fail in ways you can't even anticipate yet. And simmering anger that society still frames your struggles through the lens of "what's wrong with men?" rather than "how can we support fathers better?" Breaking the cycle without becoming a parenting cliche. The path forward requires rejecting perfectionism and embracing good enough parenting. Children fundamentally need presence more than perfection. The goal isn't to become some flawless Father of the Year caricature. It's simply to show up consistently while avoiding passing on your worst inherited habits. Smart fathers become parenting magpies, selectively gathering the best traits from various role models. Maybe you take the patience you admired in your grandmother, the playfulness of a favorite uncle, the healthy boundaries your therapist recommends, and combine them into your own unique parenting approach. There's no rule saying you must either fully replicate or completely rebel against your father's model. Curation is allowed. Every father needs what sociologists call a third place. Not work, not home, but a separate space, even if it's just a Discord server or text group, where they can admit, "I have no idea what I'm doing," without shame or judgment. This is where real growth happens. When you inevitably feel yourself starting to snap like your father did, practice pausing and saying aloud to your child, "We're both learning here." This simple act of metacognition, parenting while acknowledging you're figuring it out, doesn't show weakness. It breaks the generational chain in real time. The liberating truth: your children need you to know that critical voice constantly whispering, "You're failing." Its very existence proves you care more about getting this right than your father likely ever did. Your children won't remember or need Instagram perfect parenting moments. What will truly stick with them are the times you apologized after losing your temper, the dumb inside jokes only you two share, the visible effort you kept making even when exhausted. To every father reading this during a 3 a.m. bathroom break or stolen quiet moment, your very fear of repeating history means you're already nothing like the man you're terrified of becoming. And that fundamental difference is exactly why your children will be okay. Now go get some rest. They need you tired and present, not perfect and polished.